March is Fraud Prevention Month, and I'm joined here today with Tyler McMurchie from SGI to talk a little bit more about some fraud cases that they've seen over the past year. So thank you so much, Tyler, for joining us here today.
Oh, always happy to join Primetime Local.
So with it being Fraud Prevention Month, what are some indicators that you guys look for when it comes to somebody trying to commit fraud?
Essentially, what our adjusters do is they listen to what the insurance claimant is saying, and if there's something that they think maybe doesn't add up, that's when they may ask our special investigation unit to look into it. In a couple of cases that we've highlighted for this year, there was evidence that the person gave that didn't quite match up or didn't quite reflect what we would have expected in that case. For example, a person who claimed that they had a very expensive vintage car stolen wasn't able to produce any proof that they actually owned the vehicle in question beyond a vehicle or a picture of the vehicle that was downloaded off the internet that we were able to discover. Neighbors hadn't recalled seeing that person owning that vehicle. The auto body shop that they allegedly took it to had no recollection of it, and this wasn't the kind of vehicle that you would easily forget. So this is one of those. That was one of those circumstances. Another one involved a person claiming that they had a bunch of very expensive property stolen. One of the suspicious characteristics of that claim was that they had just taken out insurance a couple of weeks earlier. Also, the space that they were living in didn't seem to match up with the amount of possessions that they claimed to have had stolen.
And how many fraud insurance claims have you guys seen in the past year?
Well, the SIU investigated over 1,500 fraud cases over the course of the year, they looked into potentially 1,500 cases. Not all were found to have had fraud in them. There was approximately 150 denied, and then another 300 had the claims withdrawn or subrogated in some way. So it really does represent, though, a substantial amount of savings when we're talking about $6 million in savings to SGI. And when we're talking about savings to SGI, it doesn't benefit the company, it benefits the customers of that company. So everybody who registers a vehicle with SGI or takes out a home or property insurance, commercial business insurance, farm insurance with SGI Canada, we all have an interest in making sure that insurance fraud doesn't happen, because the cost of insurance fraud means higher premiums for everyone.
And you guys have seen so many fraud cases this past year. So what are some interesting ones that you could tell us about?
Sure. One of the cases that we highlighted in our news release, we like to give fun little titles to each of these stories. We called this one "Running into an Old Friend," and so this involved a vehicle collision. Thousands of vehicle collisions happen every year in Saskatchewan, of course. This one involves somebody going through a stop sign and broadsiding another vehicle. Seems pretty straightforward, but one of the things that was discovered in the course of looking into this claim was that there was video evidence that was uncovered that determined that one of the vehicle that was hit, actually slowed down and allowed the other vehicle that ran the stop sign to actually accelerate and crash into that vehicle. And during the course of the investigation, not only was this video discovered, but it was determined that the two people involved in this collision actually were friends. So that was why we call it running into an old friend. And that's also why the insurance claim was denied and ultimately saved SGI and SGI customers $7,000.
Yes, I can imagine it might be quite difficult to find out if certain cases are in fact fraud or if they are real, just because of the amount of details that you would have to go through in order to find that out.
Yes, we've got a team of investigators, the Special Investigation Unit. Now, they've all got law enforcement backgrounds, and really we like to think of them as truth finders. They're just as happy to find out that there is nothing suspicious about a claim and that the person is entitled to those insurance benefits. That's the best case scenario. Of course, we want insurance to be there for the people who need it. And when we can rule out that there's any dishonesty or potential fraud in a case, that's obviously great. Not only does it restore your faith in humanity, but it also makes sure that the people get the insurance benefits that they're entitled to. So but the work of the SIU is also very important in helping save customers money, as noted. Whenever a fraudulent insurance claim gets paid out, it costs all of us more.
Well, thank you so much, Tyler, for joining us here today.
Oh, no worries. You have a great day.